Hi everyone, my name is Griselda Moran and today I'm going to do a teach back about hair talk, and we're going to be talking about 3 methods. I'm going to start off by talking about this little ring right here. So this little ring is going to be one of your best tools to get to know what is the best color for your client. And each one of the little squares has a name which pertains to the method that you can use it with. So I'll use this one as an example. So you know that this color right here, you can use it with tape-ins and you can use it with keratin extensions. We're gonna go over tape-ins, keratin, and the sew-in weft. And this is gonna be perfect to, like I said, to match your client and know what is the best color for them. I'm gonna start today with our tape-ins. So the tape-ins, the tools that we're gonna need for the tape-ins, of course, is gonna be our hair, which you can see it right here. It has a little tape on the top. Some are, they have no hair on the top, and then we have the ones that have the hair all the way to the top part. So these ones are perfect because you can really see it. They're really seamless on your client's head. When would you use this one? Which method? How to decide which method you're gonna use with any of your clients. This one, you wanna use it for someone with low density. My favorite way to use it is to put it on the front part just for volume. You can do a full head, but like I said, my favorite thing to how to use these ones is just for volume. So I would use it on the sides. I would use some right here at the back, mostly that goes with their length. Today I'm gonna show you how to apply just one row, and we're gonna start at the bottom, but this is something that you can definitely use for a full head too. So we need our hair, like I said, and we need our little rat tail comb. And we are gonna use our duck clips today for that. So we're gonna section our hair. We're gonna do 4 quadrants, and this is just so we can put our hair out of the way, the front part out of the way, because we wanna work clean and efficient. So I'm gonna start behind my ear, and I'm gonna take that section out of the way. Then for my for the back, what I'm gonna do is that I am gonna start right here at the bottom, and I wanna do a clean section. Another thing that I need to mention is that for a full head of tape-ins, you're gonna do around, depending on your head's size, you're gonna do 5 to 7 rows. Of course, if the head is smaller, you're gonna do less rows, and then you would do less tapes on each row depending on your client's head size. Another thing that you have to be aware of is leaving hair around the hairline, because you don't wanna have your tape-ins to be noticeable. So a good way to really check this is grabbing your comb. So you do 2 fingers away from your hairline, and then you bring that hair into your comb. And if that comb is visible, that means that you need to go a little further away from maybe three fingers. And that, it just depends on the density of your clients. So I will, same here at the bottom, around 2 to 3 fingers. So I kind of have it right there. I will go ahead and do a straight line right there. And I will grab all this hair and put it away on my, so I have a clean canvas right here. And I'm gonna bring her a little higher up so that way I'm able to see what I'm doing. There we go. So always try to I mean, right now I'm working on doll head and it's easier, but if it's a real client, try to bring the chair up. That way you're able to clearly see that line where you're working at. And like I said, I want to be really clean with my sectioning. So that way it doesn't pull any of hairs that are around that hair, that line that I'm doing. So, okay. Right there. So now I'm gonna show you, we do have different sizes. We have this one that is our normal size, and then we have the little ones right here. These little ones, you can put it closer to the hairline, same as this one, because it's gonna be less noticeable. Another thing is that when you are sandwiching the hair, you wanna leave the ones that are plain and it has no hair on the top to be inside, and then maybe on the outside where they might bring their hair up, you want to do one that it has more of that hair on the top, so whenever they put it up, it doesn't show. So I'm gonna do this one for today. So I'll grab two. Remember, you have to have two to sandwich that. Otherwise, it will stick to the head, to the hair that it's around it. And then I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna remember that I need to leave 2 fingers out, leave 2 fingers away from my hairline. So that means that I'm gonna do it, get closer. That means that I'm gonna be working around this area right here. And I'm gonna be like 1/8 of an inch away from the scalp, because I wanna leave room for my hair to be able to lift up and down. I placed that one right there. So now I'm gonna grab the other one, take the little protection away. Gonna lift this, and then I see that all those hairs were attached to that tape. So that's gonna be, gonna maybe grab a little more. So that is the amount that I'm putting in between my tape. That looks clean. I don't want any hairs to be in the way, because otherwise, like I said, it's gonna be uncomfortable for your client. So you bring this up, you tilt the head down a little bit, and now you are gonna connect both. So you just do this real quick. So I'm just gonna put this right there. Now I'm able to bring them together. So perfectly aligned. I push it, I bring it down, push it again, and that has to be flat. See, it'll lay down flat. So right here, for the most part, you need 2. Sometimes you need 2.5. If you do need 2, if you need more than 2, you are gonna brick lay that. But if you only need the 2, they are gonna be 1 next to each other. If the case was that you needed a little more than 2 because they have a wider nape, then you would brick lay that one either on the bottom or the top. So I'll just put this one right here. Again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I am gonna take out that little protection. My line is already good, so I don't need to really worry about that. I just need to remember, stay away from the hairline, about 1/8 of an inch. Place that. Show you guys. Bring this up. So I can see that that's the amount of hair that my tape can hold. So I don't need more than that, just enough so it holds the tape and I'm able to sandwich that. So have that right there. Now, again, we are gonna remove that little protection, and now I'm gonna connect both, align them. And then just there we go. Just push it so we are able to have it really flat and it doesn't come out. So this is our first row, and this is the way you would go all the way up. So you would do this, and then you maybe half an inch away from that, or an inch. Again, depending on the size of your head's client, you're gonna do the second row. And for that one, you will need either 3 or 4. You would go to the next one, which is gonna be 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. And it just depends on, again, on your client's head. By the 3rd or 4th row, that's when you're gonna come all the way to the front. And just remember, again, when you come into the front, you wanna save those 2 fingers away from the hairline. Same right here. You don't want to bring your next tape all the way to the bottom, because that way it's gonna be uncomfortable and it'll show on your client's head. So that is our tape in method. And you can see it's pretty seamless. The hair that we used today, it's pretty close to her natural. And this is just gonna give her either a little more length or volume. It just depends what your client needs. Sounds good. So now we're gonna go ahead and do our sewing method. Again, you're gonna use your little ring to decide what color your client wants or needs. We need our little weft, which is this one right here. You can see it. Today it's kind of matching her length, so this is just gonna give her volume. This method is really great for someone with low density or someone that wants length, because this is going to give you the most length out of the 3 methods with less hair. We need that. We need our thread, which is polyester. You want your thread to be polyester, otherwise it can create mold on the head. If it's cotton or something that really absorbs the moisture, it might create some mold or in the head. So you have your thread. Today it's a green one because we really want to see that what we're working with. And we do have our silicone line beads. So you'll see it right here. On the outside, they are metal, but they're in the inside, they have that silicone bead. So that protects the hair from getting breakage or broken. And the ones that we're using today are white, because we really want to see that the work that we are doing. We need our little needle to start threading. Of course, we need our clips and our rattle comb. So for this one, the way we are gonna section the hair, we really wanna, so 2 things. With our sew-ins, we can't go past our nape right here, and we can't go above our crown. So pretty much this area right here is the area that we work with. All right here, all the way to the front. Again, you have to leave some space in the front around her hairline, because you don't want that to show. So depending on your density, it's gonna be the amount of hair you'll stay away from. So either 2 or 3 inches, depending on your density on the front too. There are different methods to apply it. Either you go straight across, or you do a little U around the head. Today we already have those in, just for time management. But a way to really know where I'm gonna place my weft, I need to measure her head. And the way of measuring, you have your weft, so you place it in the back, right here in the middle, and from there you bring it to the sides. So again, you don't want to go in too further in, like in front of the hairline. So I really want this to be balanced. So I see that my weft goes in around this area, these 2 points right here. So I am gonna, first off, I'm gonna section that to decide where I want my weft to be placed in. So I am gonna take this out of the way, and you can do up to 3 rows. Today we're doing only 1, but whenever you do your rows, you can just place them maybe about an inch, half an inch to an inch in between each other. And what I like to do to really be able to have clean sections is that I lightly mist the hair, just so it gives me a little more clean section. Just lightly. I don't want to wet the whole hair. The whole head. I just want my section to be really neat and clean. Remember that you always want to work with clean sections when you are doing extensions, because the little baby hairs can always trap around either your thread, or like I mentioned before with your tape ins, they might trap in there, and then it's really uncomfortable for your client. So I'm creating this right here, and I'm gonna go all the way to the front because I want that line to be balanced on both sides. So I really want to see that my line is clean. Let me bring this down a little more. Now it's too high. So again, I'll wet it down lightly just to have more control of my hair. So now I'll brush all the hair out of the way. Check that my line is nice and balanced. And I know I'm not gonna put it all the way to the front, but I still want that. I still want to see that line clean and sharp all the way to the front. You want to do this in front of your mirror. That way you're able to see the balance on both sides. So there we go. Perfect. See, like I said, we already pre-install the beads on this one, so I'm just going back to that installation for time purposes. Just double check that my line is good. So once I have that line pretty clean, I'm able to put in my beads, and that's gonna give me a really nice application of the beads. You want them to be little squares, about a 1/4 inch, and you want them to be put one next to the other one, so you don't really leave any hair out when you do them. So you go in, show you guys, and take one out so that way I can show you how to apply these ones. So remember, you have this little tool, and you take your beads and you put the beads into this little, what is it called? Little
fish hook.
Fish hook. Sure.
That's what I call it.
So we use this one to put in the little beads. So today I'm only putting 2 because that's the 2 I'm gonna show for you guys. One other thing that we do have with Hairtalk is this little, the little sticky, what are they called? Velcros.
Hair Velcro.
Yeah, so it's a hell Velcro. So this one, same thing, it's gonna help you push the hair out of the way and have a cleaner section right there. So I will apply these ones right there, and that's just gonna help me keep all the hair away. Like I said, once I have my my hairline pretty nice and clean, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my weft and measure that and see that it just fits perfectly. That way I'm able to start putting my beads in there. So I am gonna put this one right here. I think one of the ways to really make your line of little beads nice and clean, it's either to have one of those surgical markers, so that way you're able to put a little point on both sides and then go from there to start putting all your beads. I don't have that today, so that's why I put this little, my little clip, so that way I'm able to like see where my first one is gonna be. And I want to show you how I'm gonna do it. So I already placed my weft right there, and I know that it's a line on both sides. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take that a little square. It has to be a little square or rectangle, whatever you wanna call it. So depending on the hair density of your client, this little square is gonna be either bigger or smaller. The less density your client has, the bigger this square is gonna be, because you need more hair to be able to trap it in the little bead. Gonna use my pliers. So the hair that is gonna be trapped in that each little bead, it has to be the amount. You need to be able to put that hair into the bead, go in there, and then the bead needs to be able to go up and down, but not sliding, just lightly, it's just able to go up, and it doesn't slide right after you do it. So that it would be the best amount of hair you would need to put in there. So what you do is that you push that bead all the way up, and then you fold your pliers down, and then right there, that's when you push it and close it. So with that, it just leaves that little hair, that piece of hair, really, really flat. So you don't want this to be sticking out or going up, because that is just gonna create tension around that hair, and it's gonna be really uncomfortable for your client, or she might lose hair right there. So just be aware of that whenever you are putting your beads. So now I have my other one on the other side, so I'm able to take it out for now. And then I still need to put like 2 more right here. So I'll do that right now. Same thing, I want my little squares or rectangles to be kind of like the same shape, the same size. So that way it looks neat and it has, the tension is evened out. And then my little bead has to be aligned in the middle of that little rectangle. So around that area, that's where it goes. And I'm just gonna do the same. And then it just goes flat, right? So I'll do one last one. So you still have one little piece of hair hanging out right there. So again, I'm just gonna put that in there. You see, you have that little hook and then you place it in there. That way it just holds a good amount. So you're able to recharge this with the little beads and then you're able to start doing your rows. So I have my little hook. And if you are having clean sections, you'll end up with 2 lines right here parallel. The one on the top that you did, and then you just follow that one line at the bottom. So you have a clean row right there where you're gonna start putting your weft. So I have this last one and I see that it goes and aligns with everything. Like I said, you don't want hair just being grabbed from different places because that is just gonna create a lot of tension on your client's head, unneeded tension. So again, I push it in and then I go down, and when I'm there, I push it down, press it. And actually, if you need, have these little pliers. If for any reason you feel like it was not done right, you can go ahead and use these ones. You see that it has like holes in there so that it just helps you open your little beads and replace them. So it opens it up a little bit. I go in again, bring it down, and that just keeps it flat and with movement, with the right movement. They all need to be placed kind of like on the same spot, just so you have again a nice sewing weft. So I'll go in, just put this one, there we go. This one got out of place. There we go. Okay, so now that I have this ready, I'm gonna start putting my weft. And with your weft, you're gonna use your little clips to keep it stable. So whenever you start sewing, it doesn't move. My weft needs to be aligned with the beginning of my first bead. So this needs to be aligned right there. Remember, you don't put it all the way up into the scalp. You put it just on top of your beads, right there, because you want movement on your weft. So I'm gonna start by putting this one right here, being perfectly aligned. And I'm gonna start putting my little clips to keep it nice and stable. Oh, see, it moved. So I'll go back. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place it right there. I'll do 2. As many clips as you need to keep it stable. That's good. I don't want it to be moving. So that's my first And then I'll go in there, place it right there, and I'll do another one. And I'll do another one right here, just as stable. Another one right here. There we go. Or you can work it on the top, just like so. Anything that keeps it stable, that's gonna be perfect. There we go. Gonna work my way around. Gonna keep doing that till I finish placing my weft. So that's there. And this part is really important because otherwise your weft is not going to be, the tension around that hair, if it's not done correctly, it's not going to have an even tension, and that can create hair loss because at some point around there, it's getting more tension than another. So you really want to be aware of that, and that's the reason why you have to be thorough with your application. With your with this part, so it just feels comfortable for your client's head. So see how this one went a little up? I just want to put it in place, and the clips help me do that. Keep it in place, so that way when I go in and start sewing, it's not moving around like crazy. So I see that I have everything in place. Looks good. So now I'm gonna grab my thread and my needle. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do two, maybe, so that's one. Then I'll do it 2 times like that. So go from one hand to the other. I think that's a good amount of thread. And I'll cut it right there. And I have my little cutting tool, little scissors. So I'll cut it right there. Now I'm gonna put my needle into the thread. So the reason why you have this needle that it's curved is because that it just helps to better go in and out from the head, in and out into the scalp. Sorry. So now we're gonna put this, align these two like that, and gotta close it. So what I normally like to do is before I just align them, and then what I do is that I start on my, you always want to start on your second to last beat. And when you sew, you always gonna sew on both of the sides of every bead, because that's the way it's gonna anchor the your weft with your little beads without having too much tension. So right now I'm gonna start on the left side of my second to last bead. I'm gonna go in, and the other reason why I start on the second and not in the last one is because I don't want to create a ton of knots in my last bead, because that is just gonna create like a little it'll make it bulky, and the last thing that I want is to make it bulky on the sides, and not anywhere on the weft, but mostly on the sides, because that it might just peek out and it might make it noticeable for your client. So like I said, I'm gonna start my second to last on the left side of it, which I can see that is right here. What I'm gonna do is that I am gonna go in, and you see that when I go in a little sideways. so that it just makes it come out just easier. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna bring all this thread all the way to the top, and you can create a little, you can close your thread at the bottom, create a little knot. So now what I can do is that I'm just closing that loop right there. I'm going in between that thread. And always remember, always to bring up your thread, because you want your thread to be aligned to the top of the weft. You're gonna ask me, why is that? And the reason is because if you bring this thread to the middle part or the bottom part, what happens is that if you put it on the bottom part, it gives less mobility to your weft. If you put it just on top of it, it's still going to be uncomfortable, because that creates more tension right there. So when you put everything on the top of it, creates more mobility, and it's way more comfortable for your client, and it's seamless. So I did that. It's there. Now I'm gonna go to, remember I was on my left, now I'm gonna go on the right of that same bead. So I'll go in there, in and out, and now what I'm gonna do is that I'm just going inside that loop and pulling up. Up, up, up. You always want your thread to be aligned. Otherwise, it's just gonna create a big mess right there around your weft. So I have my second one. Now I'm gonna jump to the first and last bead. So my bead is right there. Now I'm going in and out again. And always remember to go in that loop, closing it. Okay. So now try to hold this one a little bit to create just enough tension. So that is my left side of my last bead. Now I'm gonna go into my last side, which is the right, but instead of going down, I'm gonna go in upwards. So from the bottom part, I'm gonna go in and out. That way, it's just gonna be closer to my scalp. So this way, it just comes and tucks the hair even better. So I'm there, kind of like, so that grabbed my corner pretty well. So that way it's not going anywhere. I'll do one more time right here and see how I'm pulling. See how I am pulling my thread to just make it really tight right there in that corner. So, and again, I went from the bottom to the top, still pulling this thread, closing it, making it tight, up, up. You always want to work your way up. So I have it there. I'll do one last one right here. So I want this to be really secure. I don't want this to unravel. I don't want my client to come back and tell me that half of her row is out. Because if any of this knots unravel, it might unravel the whole thing. So you want to be sure that it's pretty secure. So now that I secure my corner, I'm gonna go back to, I'm still on my first one, but I'm gonna go back to my left side of the bead. I'll go in from the top again, and then close that loop. That grab If this happens where just one of the sides of the thread keeps being out, you just try to find it and pull it and then close it pretty well. There you go. So you can, again, have that thread really straight. Now I go back to my second to last on my right side, and you're just gonna continue to do the same thing. What you can do when you go back, you go in again in between your thread to kind of secure that one more time. Try to have it nice and clean, no hairs around it. Cause see, then it just gets knotty and it doesn't let you work well. So there we go. Yep, it's not doing it. Let's see. I have it right here. So I'm just pulling that thread to make it even on both sides. There we go. And then I just my little knot on the top. There we go. Now I'm gonna go to that left side of the second bead. And once I do this 2 beads, because remember, we want to really secure our weft, everything else goes by faster. So now I take this one out, I take it out, and then I start sewing. Now I'm going to my third bead, so I'll jump into that one again. And it does take a little time, but it's pretty easy once you practice. So you just want to go from one side to the other, never leaving any corners without threading, because otherwise it's going to get loose, and your client is going to come back telling you that they don't like it. So I go in and up. Remember, always up. Now I'm on the left side. I go in and up. There we go. Take out this one. The left side. It's right here. I go in. And I'm kind of, I touch my my scalp to see if I'm in the right direction. I can feel that my little bead is right there, so I just go in and go on the left side. I don't really want to bring this out, like I don't want to pull it or anything, because I just wanted to stay in that position, so it's nice and clean all the time. So now I kind of check it. Okay, here's my other one. Yep, there we go. So I go in and out. And try to, again, always have that thread really clean. Don't try not to catch any of the hairs, because then it'll be uncomfortable. See, my little bead is right there. So just like that, we're halfway. And this is a great solution, like I said before, for someone that wants length, someone that wants volume too. It's great. It's really comfortable. They only have to come back every 3 months, so that gives them a good amount of time to just enjoy their hair. With other methods, it might be a little shorter time. But with this one, they can do a lot of things, you know, like they can pretty much do anything and these won't come out. They can wash their hair every day if they wanted to. The hair is really good quality. You always have to tell your clients to remember that they have to treat this hair, any of the extensions hair, they have to treat it as if it was their own or even better, because the hair needs heat protection, it needs moisture, it needs masks, it needs everything that, you know, like your hair might need. So just always try to tell them that and remind them that it needs a lot of love, because the hair, it's already been treated. So if you really want that longevity on your hair, you have to treat it right. But yeah, you can do everything you normally do if you didn't have any extensions in there. This hair, they can move it up, like I said, every 3 months. It can last up to a year if they treat it well. So it is an investment at the beginning, but they will, if they do the math, they'll know that it is a nice investment. So we're almost done here. Almost finishing. Like, as you can see if that happens where that little thread is uneven right there. I try to find which side of the thread is doing that. Right there. I pull it and then I pull up. That way it's even. So try there. Like I said, all the time I'm closing that loop so it stays in place. There we go. Take this one out. Now going to my one, there we go, right there. Perfect. Almost over. So right now I am on my second to last, but I'm gonna keep going till I reach the end, my last bead. Once I reach that one, I'm gonna go back to my second one to make my last knot here. Because remember, you wanna close it on your second or third to last, so you don't create any kind of bookiness around your corners. So now I'm at my last one, and I'm on the right side. What I'm gonna do is that right there, just gonna go in between my thread to kind of secure that last one pretty well. Just unravel this, created a few knots in there, but I'll try to unravel it. There we go, almost there. Okay, I think I did it. Perfect. I have that done. And now we got to our corner now. So what I'm gonna do is what I did on my first bead over there. So I'm gonna go in from the bottom, come out, and then just pull it up. So again, that way it just tucks my extension a little better. I'm gonna do another one right here. There we go. Close that loop. 2, sometimes I do 2 or 3 depending on, you know, like my client's hair density. If they have a lower density or finer, I try to do a little more just so I know that I really secure that hair right there. So otherwise it might unravel, it might come out, it might do a lot of different things. And you know, like the main reason people use extensions is because they have lower density. So that's that. I'm there. I'm done. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go back to, I'm still on my on my last bead, but I'm gonna go to my right side. To the right side of that bead, I'm gonna go in, close that loop, pull it up, jump to my second to last, go in, close that loop. And I'm gonna close it right here at on the right side of the second to last bead. So I go in again, one more time. And what I wanna do right here is I'm gonna go in between my thread. There we go. And I'm gonna do one last one and then I'll close it. So one last one. We'll go this one. So let me see. Yeah. I'll go to this one. I'm gonna go a little further away. So I'll do that. There we go. And now just gonna perfect. So now I'm gonna cut my thread, leave out that, and to really secure that, I'm gonna grab my 2 sides of the thread and just create 2 little knots right there so that I'm sure that it's secure and it's not gonna unravel. There we go. So I can show you. We're gonna cut those baby pieces as short as we can because now I'm sure that it's really secure right there. So I cut it, take these out. Take this out. Now you can see, let me take a closer look where you just see those little points of thread, but everything goes on the top so it's nice and clean. And then you're able to lift it up and you can see how you have your little beads right there. If she lifts this, it's not gonna show in any way. Like I said, you can do another row up here, another row at the bottom part. You can do 3 rows if she wants more density and length, depending on her length, her natural length. That counts too. To decide how much hair, how many rows of hair, how many wefts you're gonna do. So you just remove these ones, take them out, and bring the hair back. Wait. She's a little crazy. She got a little, got it. Okay. So you can see it looks really natural. She just gets a lot of volume right there. Perfect. Beautiful. So now she's got a ton of volume right there. And length. Nice. So now we're gonna go and start doing our last, we're gonna do our last technique, which is the keratin bonds. And for that technique, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm only gonna show it on the front part, closer to her hairline. So the keratins, you can do a full head just like any other method. Again, for me, it's a pretty good method to give them good volume around the hairline, being more seamless. That out of the three methods, I think is the best to get closer to your hairline. And like I said, being seamless, because it's just little pieces, hair strands, that we have a silicone base right here that we are gonna melt into the hair. So that's the way it's gonna be attached. So we have our hair Hairtalk hair. We are gonna need, again, a rattle comb, duck clips, and we do have a little hair shield, which is this one. This help us just keep the hair aligned, and it help us not to burn our client's scalp, because we are gonna use a tool, a heated tool, that is gonna help us melt the hair with her natural. So this one, I have it at $3.90, and like every other method that I show you today, we do want to have a clean canvas. We want to have a clean line when we apply it. Again, the best way to decide where we're going to place it is that we are going to bring our rat tail comb and see if that shows. If it's showing, then that's too close to the hairline, so we do have to put it a little more further back. Same on the top. You don't want to place it too high, because it'll show on the top. So for today, I'm just gonna do a little row right here around this area right here. Okay, we do have some right there. Let me change it. This model has been getting some procedures done, so she's already on the other side. So I'll use this side to show you guys. So I'm just gonna, again, create a straight line across from my temples to the back, like so. So right there, okay? And I wanna bring this away, so I just have that clean section. Just take this one out. We didn't use this one. I don't know what it's doing here, but let's just take this one out pretty quick. And I'll talk about these ones a little bit later. But for now, we have that straight line. Again, pretty clean straight line. When you do this method, you want your hair strands to be together, kind of together, depending on the hair and the densities, client and the hair density. You are gonna decide how far between one each other are gonna be, because the more hair your client has, the less they need to be together, right? So like I said, we have these ones right here, and I'm gonna take one out. So these ones are about a 1/4 inch width, but you can do half of this and just make them really, really invisible. So let me find we have this little tool that is gonna help us cut this one in half or thirds. So I'm gonna cut it in half for today. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna come from the middle of the, so kind of like divide it in half right here. Because I don't really wanna cut into their hair. I just wanna cut my glue on the top. So I open that, and then from there, I bring my little tool in, my little scissors, pliers, and then, see, cut it. So I have two little ones. And I'll show you the difference between putting this baby ones and one that is a full size. So now I'm gonna decide I don't wanna be, again, closer to my hairline because I don't want this to show. So I guess, I think it's gonna be 2 fingers away. So I'm gonna start right here, and I'm just gonna grab again a little rectangle, and that rectangle has to kind of fit into the size of my little piece of hair that I just cut. So that would be your measurement. So I have this little one, which kind of aligns with the piece of hair that I grabbed. But first, we are gonna put our little shield in there, and the hair, it perfectly aligns in that little square in the middle. So that makes me, I'm sure that it's okay. So I'm gonna place one of the little clips on the top, and then I'll place another one at the bottom. And let me just put this the other way because I want to see this is perfectly aligned right there. And see how this line is just guiding me out from my original line that I made. So put it right there, and I put another one at the bottom part. So that it's just holding that little hair right there. I'm gonna grab my extension, gonna grab my hair, my natural, and I can see that there's a baby piece right here that it's out of line, so I'll just move it away. Whatever is out of line, I'll just move it away. I'll move it out. So now I bring this up here, align it with my hair, with my natural hair, and then from there I push it till it melts the hair right there. And pretty quick, you have to be quick with this. You just push and roll, but you do it downwards. So that way that hair, so see how my hand is just going from the top and then rolling, because I just want that hair to be going down. I want it flat. So I have that. That's nice, clean and flat into my head. I'll do another one just so you guys can see. So I'm gonna follow this, and I'll get another baby square or rectangle around there. So now this is guiding me. My first one is guiding me to know that that's gonna be my line right there. That's a line that I'm gonna follow. So, and remember, this kind of like equals the size of my extension hair. Again, I'm gonna put in my shield, and I'm gonna secure it from the top and from the bottom so it doesn't move. There we go. Here I have that unwanted hair. Perfect. There we go. So again, I grab my tool that is really hot. I grab my hair. I try to place it really close, because if you see the shield, it's already giving me some space right there that it's gonna be away from the scalp. So I do wanna place it right. But that it's keeping already some space away from the scalp. So I'm able to get closer. So now I'm melting that glue, and I'm gonna need to act fast again, like I said. Ooh, wow. So roll, 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 and then you have another one. There we go. So we have two right there. And you can see that they are pretty small. I'll make it closer look so then you can see. They're right there. They're away from the scalp a little bit. So you're able to see that. Perfect. So now you would do a whole row, 2, 3 rows, depending. You can go all the way down to create a full head. So that is our third method. So now I'm gonna go over, once we finish doing any of our methods, we just need to go over the removal process, which is pretty fast. I'm gonna start with since I'm already here at the top, I'm gonna start with this ones, which is my curtain bonds. So I am gonna use, I already have some right here, a few more. So I'm just gonna use any. So for that, Hairtalk gave us this remover. It's a keratin gel remover. So what you would do is that you are gonna add a little bit of that product into your bond. I'm just gonna do this. So after 3 months, your client comes back and you are just gonna remove these ones and apply new ones or do another method, whatever the case is. But you wanna have this really wet so it does come out fast. And you have your pliers. It has some little teeth in there, so you're able to really push into that bond and break it. So I go in on